My name is Andrew Cummings, and today I will be presenting H.R. 291, more commonly known as the Water in the 21st Century Act. I would like to take a minute to thank my entire team for their hard work, as well as Professor Apsan for his guidance and patience through the entire semester. So today I will discuss the problem of poorly managed water resources and the two factors, natural variability and human impact, that aggravate this problem. Then I will discuss H.R. 291 and the proposed mechanisms that are instilled to alleviate the problem of poor water management. And finally, I'll conclude by discussing how this act will measure these outcomes to these solutions. So first, the first contributing factor to the misappropriation of our water resources is natural variability through the hydraulic cycle, specifically periods of low or no precipitation resulting in drought. So currently in California, there is a drought that has been going on since 2011. And after over many years of inadequate precipitation and inadequate snowfall in the Sierra Nevada mountains, rivers such as the San Joaquin have begun to run dry. And this is especially bad for the environment and the surrounding resources because this is the main source of surface irrigation for the California region. And as our climate continues to change from anthropogenic effects, droughts will continue to become more severe and more frequent. And although we cannot prevent droughts, we can reduce the amount of water that we are using. Unfortunately, this is not what we're doing, and our overuse of water is leading to a scarcity of this resource. Water scarcity is different from drought in that it is an unsustainable, long-term use of water resources. Unfortunately, however, drought and water scarcity often occur simultaneously, thereby exacerbating the two events. Agricultural irrigation, for instance, is the driving factor of water scarcity in the American Southwest. This is a field in Yuma, Arizona, which is located in the driest region of the United States, where water is diverted over 275 miles from the Colorado River to a field such as this wheat field. And as you can see, this wheat field uses flood irrigation, which is a technique that wastes about 50% of the water that was initially diverted into the field through evaporation and runoff. So in order to reduce the human impact on our water resources, we must improve our water management practices. Grace Napolitano, who represents the 32nd District of California, which is just east of Los Angeles, introduced the Water in the 21st Century Act to accomplish this. The goal of H.R. 291 is to improve the way we allocate our water resources through 4 titles. Title 1 focuses on water conservation through more efficient consumer products. An example of this is the WaterSense program, which promotes efficient residential products like faucets and toilets. In addition to promoting efficient consumer products, this act also encourages municipalities to develop large-scale water infrastructure, such as dams and desalination plants. Here, the Department of California Water Resources are installing a water main pipe specifically for recycled water, as designated by the kind of purplish pipes that you see in the picture. Title 3 promotes innovation through research, data, and technology. Open source data, such as real-time reservoir levels like you see here, allow local and regional water practitioners to better manage the allocation of water more effectively. This intergovernmental cooperation in turn leads to better drought preparedness. So here in the Salinas Valley, one of the largest reservoirs is running dry because they did not design this reservoir for use in the event of an extended drought, which is currently happening in California. Because our changing climate is exacerbating drought conditions, it is vital to have a proactive plan for when water becomes scarce. So in summary, Water in the 21st Century Act provides financial incentives in the form of grants and loans to enhance water quality, optimize water efficiency, and increase water availability. Although there are many proposed solutions to accomplish these goals, I'm going to only focus on 3 of the most effective solutions currently available. So as I've mentioned, potable water, the primary use of potable water is agriculture. Optimizing water efficiency through modern irrigation techniques will greatly reduce the amount of water that is wasted. This is an image of drip irrigation, and it uses about 20% of the water traditional flood irrigation requires because the water slowly drips through holes in the pipe, as you can see right there. This allows more water to infiltrate the soil, reduces evaporation, and ultimately saves a lot of water. HR 291 provides financial incentives for agriculture to use this irrigation technique, as well as many other consumer products to optimize water efficiency. Another solution for increasing water availability is using recycled water to recharge aquifers, or in this case, for crop irrigation. As you may recall, the purple pipes indicate recycled water. Now, recycled water is wastewater that has undergone a series of treatments such as settling, filtration, and chlorination to remove the contaminants prior to use, in this case, prior to irrigating an alfalfa field. The main controversy with recycled water is it grosses people out. But there are many municipalities like Los Angeles or Las Vegas that currently use this technology. And additionally, agriculture enjoys this source of high quality, clean water. And as they say in the space station, yesterday's coffee is tomorrow's water. So think about that. Green infrastructures, such as this bioswale in Seattle, are proposed solutions to enhance water quality. These are designed to remove silt and pollution from stormwater runoff, and as you can see, the runoff is slowed down and retained instead of quickly washing into sewer drains. By capturing this excess water, bioswales help prevent combined sewer overflow events. This reduction in CSOs ultimately lead to cleaner bodies of water. Additionally, less water in the sewer system allows wastewater treatment facilities to process the stormwater more effectively, thereby leading to a higher quality effluent. This effluent can then be reclaimed for municipal or domestic uses, and enhanced water quality is a fairly easy output to measure, especially if you visually compare the beginning product to the end product of reclaimed water. There are many additional ways to measure the outcomes of the proposed solution outputs in this bill. Farmers, for instance, will be able to calculate a decrease in water usage if they use more efficient consumer products such as drip irrigation in their fields. Municipalities can calculate higher aquifer levels with an increased usage of recycled water. And finally, a reduction in CSO events will lead to healthier aquatic systems, and you can see an increase in native species returning to the previously impaired body of water. So in summary, the Water in the 21st Century Act is an optimistic piece of legislation. It provides financial incentives through loans and grants to optimize water efficiency, enhance water quality, and increase water quantity. Thereby, it encourages a long-term, more sustainable water management plan. This semester, we focused on the science behind these management plans, and next semester, we will focus on the mechanisms to fully implement this act. And our hope is that if Water in the 21st Century Act is fully implemented, we will begin to reduce our human impact on the water system and ultimately begin to pay back our water debt. And with that, I thank you very much, and I welcome any questions. Also, we didn't get the bow ties memo today, so sorry, guys.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you very much for your presentation. Just wondering, you mentioned about wastewater usage in irrigation. I don't know whether this was part of your research, but do you know are there any effects on crops from chlorine disinfected wastewater?
So it's not wastewater exactly. It's recycled water, like you mentioned. It's been treated and chlorinated. There hasn't been any major effects due to that chlorination and other mechanisms as of yet, so we shall see.
So maybe I can answer a question. Israel recycles 75% of its water, and it's been using it for irrigation for many, many years, and it's not been a problem. I wanted to ask you regarding the ownership of water. In the United States, can people privately own a water source, or is it public, all public?
I'm not sure about all water sources, but this bill specifically covers municipal water sources such as aquifers and things like that. So I think it would have to be a case-by-case basis. My gut would say that water is a public good and therefore it cannot be privatized. However, you know, Nestle and other bottling companies may differ on that opinion.
Thank you.
Great presentation. I just wanted to ask, because drip irrigation can be very expensive to implement, are there subsidies included in this bill to help farmers, that farmers can participate in to help them implement this?
There's not subsidies directly, but there's financial incentives to encourage using drip irrigation. Some states offer rebate programs and things like that. One of the hopes is that if economists actually price water where it should be, drip irrigation will then become more affordable because you will use less of the resource.
Thank you.
Great presentation, Andrew. 2 questions about water. I know that in Singapore, they're taking basically wastewater and reclaiming it into mostly industrial use, but some drinking, and also desalinization. Does this bill address either one of those water issues?
Absolutely, especially desalinization. The bill does not specifically address turning recycled water into potable drinking water. That has to be kind of a municipality or state issue based on the health requirements of that location. But for desalination, it does allocate a certain amount of funding to reauthorize the Desalination Act. So states have a little bit of money to build new or update old desalination plants.